Okay, so I'm sure everyone has seen the news that destined Daniel Cretton will be directing MCU Spider-Man 4. We finally have a director, it is about damn time. Of course, Daniel Cretton is the man who directed Shang-Chi in the MCU and was also lined up originally to direct Avengers Kang Dynasty before it was of course scrapped and replaced with Avengers Doomsday, with the Russo brothers coming back to direct. So instead, Cretton has actually been lined up to take the reins from John Watts and direct MCU Spider-Man 4. And this will ultimately mean that Spider-Man is taken in a different direction. However, that wasn't the only piece of major news that we got, as we've got a bunch of other stuff that dropped that got overshadowed by the director reveal. And we also need to talk about all of this news because it is also big and has massive implications for the story of MCU Spider-Man 4. So without further ado, let's talk about everything and all the news that came from MCU Spider-Man 4 in the last 48 hours or so, and break it down in this video. Another major confirmation, along with the solace that Cretton would be directing, is that Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are back to write the script for this film. This may appease certain people, but it also may disappoint certain people as well. At first, I was under the camp personally that this was a very safe bet, since both of them have wrote all Spider-Man films in the MCU up to this point. And now that they're locked in to write the fourth, at first I kind of thought, well, maybe we could get something a little bit different. I'm not opposed to these guys writing this film because they're good writers, but for me, maybe I wanted to see something a little bit different. But then my opinion changed, and here is why. Originally, I thought that Sony and Marvel were thinking about going in a different creative direction. After all, Cretton was brought in to replace John Watts, so it kind of seemed like they wanted to go in a different direction for the character and the movie in general. But then the information came out that apparently they were keeping the same writers. That kind of seemed like Sony and Marvel committed to going in a different direction, but then sort of played it safe at the same time. After all, you couldn't really blame them from sticking with elements from the original home trilogy, since they were the most successful Spider-Man films of all time. But personally, I don't think they kept them on board for this reason. Both of these writers understand Tom Holland's Spider-Man like no other. They know the character's personal beats, and they will understand the character's mental growth and the journey he will need to go on to progress as a character in MCU Spider-Man 4. While other writers could do good jobs, bringing on a different director and a new writer or writers for the fourth film could make the transition between Spider-Man No Way Home and the fourth film a bit jarring, even if the majority of people want drastic stylistic changes. At least McKenna and Summers can work off their experience in No Way Home and sort of tie the story of MCU Spider-Man 4 into what happened at the end of No Way Home. Like I mentioned, if they brought a new director and a new writer, MCU Spider-Man 4 might just feel really disconnected from the rest of the stories and the rest of the progress that the character made earlier in the MCU's history. This will create a seamless transition for the character's internal struggle that he'll face in the fourth film, while Cretton and the directorial team can bring their own creative flair and style to the film as well, something different from Watts & Co. Despite some people not enjoying the MCU Spider-Man films at all, it's fair to say that McKenna and Summer, no matter what you think about them, do understand Spider-Man, or at the very least, they understand this version of Spider-Man better than any other person or writer on the planet. McKenna and Summer understand Spider-Man emotionally, and the story beats that No Way Home put the character through prove that fact. Both of these writers can write an emotionally grounded Spider-Man tale, which is what the fourth film needed to be. So personally, I think McKenna and Summer are the perfect writing duo to write this fourth film, and ultimately, I think it's the right choice to bring these guys back for this film. And just to round up everything that I mentioned, it is because A, of course, they will create a seamless transition for Peter's character between No Way Home and Spider-Man 4, and obviously B, they are clearly very good at writing Spider-Man, as proven in the last three films. And despite originally thinking this was a safe choice from Marvel and Sony, after thinking about it a little bit deeper, I think this is definitely the right choice. The next thing that also got revealed is the filming time for the movie. According to heavy reliable sources, Spider-Man 4 is aiming to start shooting in early 2025. This means that without major upsets or delays, the film will most likely release in the summer of 2026, in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. This most likely means that this film will also have some elements of the multiverse, as many rumours over the last couple of months have suggested. However, one thing that you will have noticed is that I said they are aiming to shoot early 2025 and not that it's 100% concrete, despite that being the time that Marvel and Sony want to lock in. And that is because, a matter of fact, another piece of news that we actually got was that Tom Holland and Zendaya, who are both in line to return, haven't actually signed the dotted line yet. It has been put forward that both of the actors are extremely close to returning officially, but the contract for the fourth film hasn't actually been signed as of yet. Of course, the chances are is that they'll both sign the contract and the film will start shooting in 2025, no problems whatsoever, and to be honest, we probably won't hear much more about this ever again, and it'll probably just start shooting without us even really noticing. But if there are some contractual problems, this could mean that the film could get delayed, or the shoots could start happening later, production could get moved back, anything could happen as of yet. This is something that we'll have to keep an eye out for. However, at this moment in time, like I mentioned, it is likely that both Tom and Zendaya are coming back. What's also interesting as well is this likely means that Zendaya is going to be one of the main characters in the movie as well, despite a lot of people not really wanting that to happen. But one thing I will say is just wait and see what direction they go in with the film. MJ's character arc in the fourth film could actually be really good, and it could actually improve upon No Way Home. And like I mentioned, bringing McKenna and Summer back actually really helps this prospect. They will not want to ruin the end of their movie. And if anyone is going to try and come and write MJ into the story again quite seamlessly, it is going to be that pair. Pair that along with Cretton's visual style, and I think we have a pretty good movie on our hands. Here's another video of mine that you can watch if you enjoyed this one. Thank you all to the members, you guys are absolutely awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.